Hello and welcome back to another episode of How It Was Made, presented by Continuify. I'm your host, Josh Hines, and today's goal is life goals. So last video, we talked about the why and why I started Continuify and how you could potentially get into SaaS yourself or starting a marketing agency if you want to go down that route. But taking it kind of a step backwards, today I want to talk about life goals. And yes, like starting a SaaS brand or a marketing agency could be one of the goals, but I think one of the best ways to kind of kickstart this whole journey of yours is to get a really good idea of where you're at and where you want to go. And the best way to do that is life goals. One of the biggest programs I've gone through, and I've done this the last decade, and it's helped like a crazy amount, is Darren Hardy's Living Your Best Year Ever. This system that he's created, it's a book. I got the links down in the description if you want to purchase it. But it's a year-long plan where at the very beginning you kind of build a like an awareness of life, and you kind of reflect on the previous year and talk about like your biggest wins, your biggest losses, who impacted you the most, who's influencing you the most, and kind of just got to get an idea of where you're at. I feel like so many of us, we kind of float through life. Life's punching us in the face. We're going through the motions and we're just kind of trying to survive. That it's not until where you like really become aware of like what's going on in our life and we're not just kind of in the whirlwind of things, that we can really start to take those steps and get the clarity that we need to be able to move forward in the direction we actually want to go and take control of our lives. Going through this program, like I said, it kind of reflects on the previous year, but then it goes through and you design 10 goals in 8 categories that kind of makes you more of a well-rounded individual as well. Because I feel like a lot of times we'll stick to our strengths or we'll get hung up on like our weaknesses. But going through this, you take this wheel of life assessment that I'll tag one in the comments that you can take for free. But you kind of do this wheel of life assessment to understand like where you're at, where are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and then like I said, you design 10 goals in 8 categories of your life. And then afterwards, you decide your top 3 goals that you really want to focus and achieve this year, and you build out an action plan to achieve those goals. So often we set all these New Year's resolutions, we set these goals of things we want to do, but because we have no plan of how we're actually going to achieve them, they just stick on the wish list, the things I wish I could do, but there's no plan of actually how to do it. This program also helps you break down how to do it and what's your plan of action in the next 30 days, next quarter, and the means and the destination of actually getting it achieved by the end of the year. People you need to meet, things you need to learn, the habits that you need to introduce into your life to become the person that's able to achieve the goal itself. Everything's in this program. And then, of course, because it's a year long, there's a weekly accountability where you're tracking your habits, you're tracking your milestones, you're reviewing. So you kind of have that personal accountability to actually get things done. I feel like this idea of going through this process really helps create a clarity of like where you're wanting to go, which is also going to create the space needed to actually launch your own business. The reality is like launching a business is tough. It takes a lot of time. It's almost like raising a kid at the very beginning, that it just consumes you. But creating these life goals, especially in the 8 different categories, ensures that you kind of still keep somewhat of a life work balance, and you set the priorities of things that you need to focus on. And it just makes sure that like you're moving in the right direction and you're not just getting caught up in things. And because there's a weekly review, it continues to remind you of why you started this journey in the first place and the importance of it. And like they always say, what gets measured gets done. So it just helps a lot. I feel like this program, I've been doing it for a decade now, and it's definitely helped me move in the right direction. So actually, I offer this as a small group of my close friends, and we get together every year and we set our goals, and then we get together once a month for accountability and celebrations, as well as breaking off pairs of 2 for accountability, where every week we kind of call each other or send a quick text message to see how things are going, what blockers we have. Kind of reminds me a lot of the agile methodology I do at work, where we're syncing obviously every week with teammates and understanding where things are at, what's ready for handoffs, what are the blockers that we need to figure out how to get past. That's the same process, but it's kind of funny how it overlaps. Everything kind of blends as you kind of start connecting the dots. But I digress. Anyways, life goals. Yes, you need them. It's going to help you with your business. It's going to help you with life. Definitely check them out. Darren Hardy is probably one of the better programs I've seen. I think the book's like $39. You can break it into a couple of installments if you don't want to pay that all up front. But it's just one of those things that as you start doing it, it's definitely going to create a ripple effect across your entire life. So I hope this helps. I know we took a little bit of a step backwards, but I think this is going to lay a better foundation for everybody that's kind of going through this series that's looking to start their own business. And it's only going to make it so that everything else, like there's more clarity. Because like they say, like you set a goal and 50% of the success rate of it is just having a plan of how you're going to achieve it. Whereas like Abraham Lincoln always says, if I have 3 hours to cut down a tree, I'm going to spend the first 2 sharpening the axe. So it's all this preparation. And as they always say, success is when preparation meets opportunity. So it's like you're prepared for the ability to become the person that you want to be. And goals, I feel like, are the greatest way to kickstart that momentum. So again, this is another How It Was Made video by Continify. My name is Josh, and until next time, keep building.